The war between Arkaya and Belvar had lasted longer than anyone could remember. It had turned seasons into smoke, cities into shadows, and childhood into something people spoke about in past tense. 17-year-old Lira had never seen a world without sirens. She lived near the border, a place where the sky never felt safe. Every morning, she would climb to the rooftop of her crumbling home, not to admire the view, but to listen. The silence between explosions had become her way of measuring time. One evening, something changed. There were no sirens. No distant thunder of bombs. Just wind. Lira stood frozen, unsure whether to trust it. Silence in a war was more terrifying than noise. It meant something was coming, or something had already ended. Across the border, in Belvar, a boy named Kael felt it too. He had been trained his whole life to fight. To see Arkaya as the enemy. To never question orders. But that night, as he sat in a watchtower staring into the unfamiliar quiet, something inside him cracked. For the first time, he wondered, what if the enemy felt exactly like him? Restless and unable to sleep, Lira did something reckless. She crossed the forbidden line. No one crossed the border. Not unless they wanted to disappear. The land between Arkaya and Belvar was barren, scarred with the memory of every battle. Yet, as she walked, the silence grew heavier, not threatening, but waiting. And then she saw him. Kael. They stood there, separated by everything they had been taught to believe. For a long moment neither spoke. Then Lira did the unthinkable. She lowered her guard. "I thought the war ended," she said, her voice barely more than a breath. Kael shook his head slowly. "Or maybe it just paused." They both looked at the sky. It was clear, clearer than either had ever seen it. No smoke. No fire. Just stars. "I've never seen it like this," Lira whispered. "Me neither," Kael admitted. For years, their worlds had been shaped by hatred passed down like inheritance. But standing there, under a sky untouched by war, it suddenly felt small. Fragile. Temporary. "What if this silence," Lira said, "isn't the end of something, but the beginning?" Kael didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stepped forward. Not as a soldier. Not as an enemy. Just as a human being who was tired of fighting a war he never chose. And for the first time in years, the border didn't feel like a line. It felt like a question. Behind them, far in the distance, the faint echo of sirens began to rise again. The war wasn't over. Not yet. But something had changed. Because now, two people on opposite sides had seen the same sky. And realized it belonged to either of them. It belonged to both.